The following is a presentation of the Best Station. The views and comments made in the following program do not necessarily represent the views and comments of the Best Station.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fast Pitch Game 14. I'm your co-host, MC Brown.
And I am Eric Lenneberg, here at the Best Station Studios in Glendale, Arizona.
The doctor of baseball. You don't like to refer to yourself as a doctor, though.
Well, you know, all of the fans out there do it. I don't have to pat my own back.
Yeah, that's what you say. I think you demand nurses, come over here and, bow in your presence, though, and we're off the air.
Well, they do it anyway, so.
Yeah, well, I would think you should just call yourself the doctor of baseball, but that's just me. But we want to welcome you all to another great game here as we're about to jump right into spring training is on its way. And as always, we can be reached at the Fast Pitch MLB on Twitter, Facebook.com/TheFastPitch. And as always, we are on thebeststation.net under the umbrella of our great longtime personal friend,
Craig Best.
And we want to thank Craig, as always, for his help with the show, and without Craig we would not have the platform here, so as always drop him a line on Facebook.com/TheBestStation and let him know as well. Very special thank you for giving us this platform. So
yes,
how you doing this show?
I'm good. I've been making the rounds of spring training stadiums, as you know, doing some reports for the MLB Network. Today I had a day off, so I got to see the Brewers and Indians.
Day off?
Yes,
Who
a
gave
rare
you a day off?
Well, I requested a day off and took it. Let's put it that way.
Oh, wow. If it was up to me, I don't give you an extra day off. That's
well,
ridiculous.
thankfully it's not up to you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to jump right in to not the doctor's social life, but we're going to go into social media round right here. And we got some good ones, as always. We appreciate the feedback from all you great fans. We got a lot of feedback this show.
A lot of feedback.
And we're excited to bring that to you. We can't read verbatim, word for word. A lot of you great fans are just letting us know how much you enjoy the show. We're happy to give you a shout out too, and we appreciate that as well. We got some actual questions too, and concerns and feedback. Especially from longtime fans, returning fans. So I'm going to jump right into with the first one here. And this is a previous listener, at DodgerDog57 Hines. And this person writes, ask the doctor who is going to lead our rotation after Kershaw with Anderson out. We are royally, I can't read what he says, screwed, let's just say.
Yes.
So what do you think about this, doctor? Is obviously a member of your Dodger Nation here.
Well, my Dodger Nation is in for a real letdown. Kershaw is number one, and then I think
he's talking about Brett Anderson with back surgery is out 3 to 5 months, right?
That's right. And Jin-Hyu Ryu is still out. We don't know if he's going to be back this season.
Brandon McCarthy, right?
Brandon McCarthy. Now, I did see the Diamondbacks-Dodgers game yesterday, and their Japanese signee, Kenta Maeda, was outstanding. He has good stuff. The word on him from Japan was good, but he has good stuff. And, of course, the free agent they signed in the offseason, Scott Kazmir.
Yes.
Once again, Scott took the mound this week, and I'm going to start a new feature every week, the Scott Kazmir Watch.
Oh, really?
Yes. And,
I don't have any messages from Kazmir Girl 26 this week.
Oh, good. Hopefully she's found somebody else to harass.
I don't think so. I would just say. But tell us about your new feature. What is it?
Yeah, the Scott Kazmir Watch. We'll be following his games every week. And wanted to let you know he had his first start of spring training, MC.
How did he do?
He went out there for the Dodgers. He pitched 2 innings.
Okay.
Gave up 6 hits and 4 earned runs,
wow.
Which is not surprised at all from the most mediocre pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, and you're just right down his throat. I mean, seeing that he is probably in the vicinity of punching you in the face, that's probably not wise to talk smack about him here. He's somewhere in this valley because the Dodgers obviously play here.
Yeah, and he lives here actually.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He lives in Tempe.
Yeah,
and I spent a lot of time in Tempe. So hopefully,
personally thank Craig Best. He's put a nice couple of ads on our viewable YouTube show, obviously, where this is broadcast and stuff. And his ads, I didn't even know he had one ad, let alone 2 for.
Yeah, there's probably more. Although they need to do a new one this year. Scott Kazmir talks about retirement. So
yeah, we talked a lot more about Scott Kazmir I ever thought we would on this
Yes.
show. So, but let me put you on a spot real quick to get back to Dodger Dog's question. So if you had to, who's your 5-man rotation right now? If you had to pencil it in, if you're the manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who is
Dave Roberts in his first year.
Dave Roberts
Yeah,
in his first year,
I would go
you're,
with-
You're filling this 5-man rotation out. Who
Yeah.
is?
I'd go
Who's on your rotation?
Kershaw
Kershaw.
be number 1.
Okay.
Maeda, the Japanese pitcher,
All right,
number
so he's
2.
number 2. Wow.
Right.
Hasn't pitched one game yet.
No, I know, but great stuff. Great
Okay.
stuff. Number 3 will be Alex Wood, who they obtained from the
Okay.
Braves last
All
year.
right.
Number 4 would be a rookie, Julio Urias.
All right.
Okay, and number 5, I think, because they need to lose every once in a while, I would have Scott Kazmir in the 5th spot in the rotation.
No Mike Bollinger?
No Mike Bolsinger, although
Bolsinger,
Kazmir
right.
might last a month, and then he'll be in the bullpen.
Okay.
Just as a mop-up man.
Along with, Joe Blanton?
Joe Blanton, that's right. The
Yeah.
big signings for the
Chuck
Dodgers.
Boyer's favorite player?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's 5. So, great stuff after one spring training start, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, and he might throw 2 innings again. We'll see. I'll be there to see what happens this week.
No, I mean, from Maeda, you already...
Oh,
got
Maeda
some
went 3
for the-
innings, and
3
he was
innings.
just outstanding.
Okay, it's spring training, though.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so all right, there it is. Dodger Dog 57 Hines. Great question or concern, I should say, and the doctor delivered. So you got some great feedback. I'm going to give you the floor here, and it starts with a great listener from many miles away. Why don't you tell us about
From
that?
Sonnenbuhl, Germany, and he has a
Wow.
lot of great feedback this week. And I want to mention, I get these messages on Facebook, and my Facebook messages are, I accept them from public. They're not private or anything, so anyone
Okay.
can send me messages, whether or not they're on my list. But we have Gabrielle Borman from Sonnenbuhl, Germany,
Okay.
and she says, "Dear Dr. Lendenberg and Mr. MC Brown, thank you for the opportunity to listen to your incredible show. I enjoy every second and was fascinated by the great spirit you and your guests give us, particularly Seth Swirsky. He talked about baseball and music, baseball and compassion, baseball and the universe. What an interpretation of life. Best regards from Germany, Gabrielle." Now,
Wow.
great deal of the feedback was on the Seth Swirsky interview this week.
Yes, you told me, that you actually personally got a lot of messages.
A lot of
about it, which
messages,
is
but
nice.
that top there right there,
that's very
one of our
cool.
listeners from Europe.
Worldwide fast pitch.
Yes,
Oh,
worldwide fast pitch.
that's impressive. I want to thank Gabrielle for that feedback. That was
Absolutely,
very, very
absolutely.
awesome.
She requested as a gift an 8x10 signed photograph of myself. And I told her she might get one of you and me both.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I've run out of the ones
You're
of
going to
myself.
squeeze me out of the picture, so it'll just be a sliver of me on the corner of the photo. Okay, all right, yeah, we can possibly hook that up. Especially for our first international listeners.
Yes,
I
that's
know of,
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's very cool. You got some more feedback too, right?
I did. Steve Kilcullen of Burbank, California, also loved the Seth Swirsky interviews. He hadn't thought about the link of baseball and rock music, and he loved the story about Swirsky meeting Paul McCartney at LA Fitness in Los Angeles.
That's a great
But-
story. Yeah.
Finally, Steve wants to know if the Fast Pitch MLB will be making new predictions before opening day.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. We might have some alterations. I mean, there were some late signings too when we did our show. There are 2, American League and National League shows. I believe 10 and 11 they were, and those were January, I believe, is when we recorded those shows. So it is possible that a few of the teams could switch places. Injuries could happen in the spring. I know we just talked about Brett Anderson. In all seriousness, that's
Yes.
a tough loss for the Dodgers. Yeah, we could have some changes. I mean, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility. We might do our final predictions, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that would probably be pretty likely,
I
definitely.
think so, right before opening day.
Yeah, you definitely will. What was the listener's name?
That was Steve Kilcullen.
Steve, you can bet that we will revisit our predictions.
Absolutely.
Especially
absolutely.
as the doctor jumps off the Dodgers bandwagon, he's going to probably put him last.
Well,
It's just my feeling.
I'm not optimistic about the Dodgers this
No,
season.
Neither is Dodger Dog 57 Hines.
I've got another message here from Jeff Hamilton of Tahunga, California.
Okay.
Hey guys, great show. I love listening to all your updates around baseball, also hearing your opinions and your debates. Now, I started to say Dr. Eric is always right, but he didn't say that. Jeff does have a question. We mentioned a couple weeks ago Jonathan Lucroy could be moving and will be moving from the Brewers, and we almost let it slip what team he was going to. But the
was
word
strong
now,
indication,
yeah,
yeah.
strong indication now. And I was there today at Maryvale Stadium and talked to my source. Looks like he will be going to the National League East. to one of the teams there.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil anything, especially if we end up being off the mark as we tease the Rangers. That it looks like that might not be the case now.
Yeah, it looks like now the Rangers deal is dead, but he will be going to a National League Eastern team now.
You had a couple other messages, right? One from a Sal Minio?
Yes, our listener Sal Minio in Los Angeles. I just love that name, Sal.
Yeah,
always the rebel with a cause,
yes.
and his cause seems to be Justin Turner. And
Yes.
he says, "You are wrong, MC and Eric. Justin Turner will be the number 1 third baseman in Major League Baseball this year." Now, Big Sal, can I just tell you something? I have watched the Dodgers during spring training. I haven't seen Justin Turner do anything but pinch hit. They are rotating Elian Herrera and Alex Guerrero at third. One of those guys will be the starting third baseman for the Dodgers. So I feel your pain for Justin Turner, but you're not going to be hearing about him much this year from us. That's for sure.
Well, you get slumped in. I mean, I'm not as strongly vehemently against him since Dr. Eric is against his own players, such as Justin Turner
And Andre Ethier.
And I was going to even say Scott Kazmir again, but yeah, Andre Ethier. You seem to hate half of the Dodgers team. So
I don't hate these guys, but Ethier needs to go. He belongs in the American League. He's a drag on the team, and he's a bad teammate.
You seem like you should be on the road doing like traffic in L.A. and just really just ripping half the team, and you'll get a bunch of callers into, telling you what they feel in their mind.
Probably.
You might be making a case. I get a feeling that you're selling yourself for that. But we had a couple other people you wanted to thank as well. You said
I did.
For a lot
We
of the
had
feedback
just
we had.
tons of messages. So I want to thank Bob Yost, Louis Lujan, Ray Noriega, Jamie Hurley, Dana Herrick, Cheryl Crowder, Teresa Kyle Kramer, Harold Vanderveer, and Jason Himmelstein. Tons of messages.
Yeah, we love you all. Thank you very much for listening.
And keep it coming.
You gave me a little tease. You said you didn't want to read it because you don't want to have fans giving their own fast pitch feud. But you had a certain gentleman, right, that actually gave their own fast pitch quiz to us. Right?
Yes. That would be Mr. Hamilton.
Yeah.
From Tahunga, California again. And here's what he said.
And that's fine. I mean, I'm all cool. If you fans want to send us your own fast pitch feud to stump us, I'm more than happy to do a live version at one point with me against the doctor.
Yeah, well, here's what he said. I also want to give you my version of Who Am I?
Okay.
I was a 28-year-old rookie who hit a home run in my first at bat, then went my entire career without hitting another home run, and still ended up in the Hall of Fame. Who am I? And no Googling.
Yeah, we did not Google this. No.
Yeah, I am a little bit stumped on this one, MC, but you quickly had the answer.
Yeah, we're not going to pretend that I'm answering it right now, but the doctor had read this to me. We should have read it on there for the first time, but Ozzie Smith was my guess.
Ozzie Smith was the correct answer.
That was the correct answer. So you said Mr. Hamilton?
Mr. Hamilton.
Mr. Hamilton, that's awesome of you. And any of you other fans that want to give us your own Who Am I's, by all means, send us in. And
that's right.
And we'd love to answer them and stuff, too. So, yeah, it was a great one.
They can be obscure, too.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, so, yeah, Ozzie Smith was the answer there. And we're going to wrap up the social media round because we got some MLB Newswire to get to before our station break. So the last question we have here, this is a message, direct message to us via Twitter, at Jake Snakes and Steaks. Wow. I wonder where this is going. Who do you guys think will be the MVP and Cy Young of the National League this year? My money is on Goldie and Greinke now that he is on a winning franchise. Oh wow, look at that jab.
These people are hitting below the belt.
Yeah.
I'll go first on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will go MVP.
Yes, of the National League.
I may agree with him. I may agree with him on Goldie. I think twice in the past Goldie's been cheated on the MVP. It could be Harper, Bryce Harper, but I think Goldschmidt's going to win it this year. As for the Cy Young, I'll go with Clayton Kershaw. Again, now Greinke should have won it last year.
No.
Well, here we go again. Jake Arrieta won, and
he's not even on your team, and you're crying sour grapes. So you should actually, if you have a problem with anybody, you should have a problem with Greinke. You hate your own Dodgers players, and you're still singing the causes of Greinke.
Well, who do you think is going to be the MVP and Cy Young?
It's hard to bet against Harper because he got off to such a gigantic start, and I think we haven't even probably seen the best of him. I mean, Goldschmidt's obviously a good guess. He's pretty consistent. There's no doubt that he's going to be a juggernaut. He is every year. I think it's a toss-up. I have to say right now the edge is probably Bryce Harper. I wouldn't even rule out Yoenis Cespedes. I think as far as the Mets would probably be going nowhere without his bat. So you got to have guys to knock in too. So I think somebody from the Cubs is probably not out of the realm of possibility, like a Rizzo or Hayward.
That's possible, but I think
Does Arrieta repeat? I'd probably say that we probably seen him maybe a little off here for Kershaw. I think it's kind of hard to bet against him.
Right.
But I think Max Scherzer is probably going to be in that mix. He's every year he's in that.
Sure is.
That
2
upper
no-hitters last
percentile.
year.
Yeah, I think Scherzer would probably be who I would lead, but Kershaw's probably right there. I think it's hard for Arrieta probably to top what he's going to do, but I don't think he'll probably need to have to do that for the Cubs to win. They got a better offense, so. Yeah, I think you might see them both from the Washington Nationals, but I don't want to hate on the Diamondbacks. I think obviously Goldschmidt and Greinke are 2 great choices. I think they're going to be in the top 3. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Now he's not in the National League anymore, but Mike Fiers is always one of your picks because he threw a no-hitter.
Oh no, I never said Mike Fiers.
Well, you said if you throw a no-hitter, you should be Cy Young.
Don't put words in my mouth. I said Jake Arrieta was clearly the #1 Cy Young, and he was out-doctoring the doctor. You just had a bias, and unfortunately.
Well, and I saw somewhere around here a plaque of yours from the Brewers that had M. Fiers, starting pitcher, on it. How that came here, I don't know. But
I think out of the 2 of us, you have worked more for the Brewers than I. So you would think you would be nicer to your Brewers. If you want to be let in their stadium next week.
I was just there today.
Put a muzzle on you. All right, so we're going to wrap that up. We want to thank all of you great listeners. We love your feedback as always, and even the Dodgers and Diamondback fans that like to razz the doctor here. So definitely let us know. Keep giving us that feedback at the Fast Pitch MLB, Facebook.com/the Fast Pitch. No question, concern, feedback is too little for us to answer.
That's correct. That's correct.
I want to thank you all for that. So get a little bit of a late start because of the great feedback we had, but not quite as extensive as last show. But MLB Newswire, we got some news here to get into, Doctor.
Yes, big news in some cases.
Yeah, freshest news we have as a recording time is we just heard the news of Austin Jackson signing with the White Sox. I think the biggest news, however, might be going to those Chicago Cubs, who actually made a couple of moves, and a surprise right after we had recorded our last show, Game 13. The Cubs traded Chris Coughlin to the A's for young pitcher Aaron Brooks, and then immediately turned around and signed Dexter Fowler, which is a big surprise.
It's a big surprise.
He was going to the Orioles.
Yeah, and he's one of the players we talked about that, boy, this is last minute these guys are signing, and he was one of them. I was surprised he was out there so long, but Cubs did the right thing, I think.
An excellent move. I think there is a player option, team option for next year, but it keeps Fowler in center, now it moves Hayward over to right, and keeping his arm and his defense right there in right field, I think is huge.
It's a tough team. The Cubs are strong this year.
Stacked team, and that was a great move. Got kind of surprised, I think, all of Cubs Nation for sure, and Cubs made a couple other minor moves, signing more backups since they traded Coughlin. They signed Shane Victorino, Manny Parra, minor league deals, but you never know if one of those guys will make
Shane
the team.
Victorino's a veteran. He's been on winning teams, the Flying Hawaiian. He's one of the fastest guys in baseball. I expect him to be up in the majors.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if he'll make the squad for sure. We got Ian Desmond, actually in a surprise move as of right now because of the injury to Josh Hamilton. The Texas Rangers signed Desmond, but he's going to play left field, believe it or not.
Field, that surprises me too. That surprises all of us, I think.
Yeah,
that's a big addition for the Rangers.
Yes, that was a little surprising. He finally found his home. A couple names still out there: David Freese, Pedro Alvarez. We still don't have any word on teams they've signed.
I do not know what David Freese is doing out there unsigned. He's proven himself to be a clutch hitter. He's a solid defensive player. I don't understand it.
Very surprising, very surprising. We have some off news too. We'll save this for after these signings. We'll just go through the signings real quick. We have White Sox signing Jimmy Rollins, former Dodger favorite.
And he was unseated by Corey Seager last September.
Yeah, I don't think he was going to beat him this year. David Murphy signs with the Red Sox. Yankees signed Chris Denorfia. A lot of these minor league deals. Indians signed Will Venable, formerly the San Diego Padres.
And he started in center field for them today against the Brewers.
You did say that, yes. Rafael Soriano signs with the Blue Jays. Jeff Francoeur returns to the Braves. Padres signed Casey Janssen, the former closer of...
Padres need a closer. They traded Craig Kimbrell. I can't believe it. And they need a closer back.
They traded Benoit, too.
They did. They sure did.
To Seattle. So, Rays, this is a little bit of... I think this... We've aforementioned Brett Anderson is out for 3 to 5 months with that back injury. But the Rays, this is an interesting move, too. They signed former... slugger, 36-year-old Dan Johnson, to be a pitcher, a knuckleballer. I don't know if you heard this story, but they have Charlie Hager was signed as a coach, pitching coordinator and stuff. So I guess he's going to be teaching them to pitch.
This will be interesting to see how it turns out. I remember when Brooks Kishnick played third base for the Cubs and the Brewers, and then he became a pitcher for them. He
Colorado, he actually pitched for Colorado.
And he pitched for the Brewers, Colorado.
Yeah.
So some of these guys extend their career that way. A knuckleball pitcher. That'll be interesting.
Be an interesting story. 36 years old, he's converting to a pitcher.
And we're going to keep up with that.
Oh yeah, we definitely want to see what happens there. Finally, before we get into the extracurricular news, the Astros signed former White Sox reliever Neil Kotz, he also played for the Cubs as well.
Been around forever.
Yeah,
You and I saw him in the Arizona Fall League probably 15 years ago.
Neil Kotz, didn't he come up to the booth and have some words with you?
Not me, but he had him with Byron Brown.
I
was watching the whole thing.
Yeah. A scoring change, wasn't it?
Yes,
that was an interesting exchange that happened, huh?
I've never seen Byron lose as cool except for that day.
I'm going to say we should save that story for when we have Mr.
Yes,
Brown on the show.
that will be soon.
That will be a story we will definitely save for our Byron Brown show, folks.
Yes.
So in a couple extra news, we have Arnaldus Chapman. He's been served with a 30-game suspension.
30-game suspension.
For his domestic altercation,
violence
which I don't think actually ended up him serving any time, but I think Rob Manfred just says he's a no-tolerance policy.
Yeah, and I had to report on this for the MLB Network the other day, and what it is, Chapman is not appealing, and he was not convicted of anything. He's just saying, his quote was, "I acted inappropriately and wrong." But the key here is Rob Manfred has implemented the strongest disciplinary action against domestic violence, sexual assault or abuse, and child abuse. It's a zero-tolerance policy. And we've all seen what happened in the NFL the last few years where there's really no punishment and the NFL didn't get involved. Manfred is way out in front of the curve on this. Major League Baseball took a stand. Chapman is the first player to be suspended, and I hope the last.
I hope to goodness it is. We don't condone that at all, especially here on the fast pitches. None of us want to hear any stories like this.
No.
Yeah, he's owned up to it. So I mean, it is admirable that Arnaldus is going to take a suspension for whatever happened, or we have no idea. We weren't there. But he's going to take it like a man, and he's going to just say, "Hey, I'm going to serve this," and then put it behind him. And I hope, like you said, I hope to goodness this is hopefully the last we hear.
Yes.
This is just uncalled for in any walk of life.
Right, not just sports, any walk of life.
Yeah. So that is big news too. Along with speaking of suspensions, I think our last bit of news here revolves around on a less important note, but it's still baseball note. Chase Utley will not serve his 2-game suspension for his slide that broke the leg of Ruben Tejada.
And why will he not serve the suspension?
You have some words on this.
Yes, is he not serving the suspension because Joe Torre and the commissioner's office realized they were wrong to even make the big fuss over that?
Well, the umpire said it was a legal slide.
They sure did. It's good old hardball baseball.
Little sketchy. I don't think it was as bad as the Chris Coughlin one. You like to lump them all together because any infraction is the same to you.
Chase Utley and Chris Coughlin did the same thing, and yet Coughlin wasn't even criticized for it. It was just part of the game, they said.
Well, I think if you look, there is a difference between the slides that you don't recognize, but clearly
it's easy to look at instant replay in slow motion and say, "Oh, he shouldn't have done that." But things happen fast down on the field.
But he's getting let off, so he will not be able to serve.
As well, he should be let off.
He appealed it anyways in the playoffs, didn't have to serve it then. So, we had our feelings on this. We covered it in a previous fast pitch. So if you really want to get our thoughts in depth on this, you will turn into an early edition of the fast pitch, archived on the best station, might I add. And we would be happy if you send us some feedback. We'd be glad to tell you which show that is.
Absolutely.
We do not have that exactly in front of us this time. But that wraps up our Newswire. We have to go to a station break. We're actually a little overdue, so we're going to go into our first Who Am I? Hit the station break, and we'll be right back. We got some more good stuff for you. So I'm going to do the Who Am I this week, and here it is. In 2014, I became the first Major League player in more than 80 years to reach 130 hits and 40 stolen bases before the All-Star game.
That is incredible numbers.
That is incredible. In my almost 5-year career, I am a 3-time All-Star, Gold Glove Award winner, 2-time Silver Slugger, AL batting champion, 2-time American League hits leader, 2-time American League stolen base leader. Wow.
And this is a tough one.
And finally, as of 2014, I am the shortest active MLB player in the league. Who am
Okay.
I? We will find out when we come back.
The Fast Pitch will return in just one moment.
Some of us seem to strike out whenever it comes to taxes. If you need help getting out of the dugout, Serenity Tax and Financial Services is here to help. They take care of everything from tax preparation and audits to liens and levies and much more. They have offices in Los Angeles and Lancaster, California. If you want to hit a home run with your taxes, check them out at serenitytaxhelp.com for more information.
Never seen it turn out like this. I mean, we all have Fan Fest, but this is unbelievable. It's overwhelming to see how many fans and how excited they are. I'm excited.
It's kind of like you're welcome to LA.
It is. This is the first time here as a Dodger, so this is a great welcoming, I guess.
Have you ever met Dr. Eric Lenneberg?
Not yet. I mean, talked to him on the phone, but have not got a chance to meet him yet. Hopefully, I'll get to meet everyone pretty soon.
And we are back here on the Fast Pitch Game 14. We are here for the Who Am I reveal. Waste no time. It is none other than All-Star Houston Astros second baseman Jose Altuve.
Jose Altuve,
Man.
great player.
Awesome player. 5'5" at the shortest major league player. He's a spunky one, but he is look at those stats, man. 3-time All-Star. He debuted in July of 2011, but 3-time All-Star in 2012, 14, and 15. Gold Glove winner in 2015, 2-time Silver Slugger Award 14 and 15. The batting champion 2014, hits leader 14-15. Same thing with the stolen base 14-15. I don't even think we've seen even the best of him, believe it or not.
I don't think so. What is he, 25
Incredible.
years old?
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty cool how this ties in because we're actually doing second baseman
That's
at
right.
FFT later in the show, and it's apropos that we did this, gentlemen. But yeah, so young in his career,
And he's
such a
5'5". That
decorated
makes me harken
player
back to
right now.
Freddie Patek in the 70s with the Royals.
How tall is he?
He was 5'4", and
Wow.
just incredible player. He had over 20 home runs one season. He was on that Royals team that seemed to go to the playoffs every year.
It comes to my mind because we obviously have our obligatory Minnesota twin is Chuck Knobloch.
Chuck Knobloch. Okay, hey, Troy Hawkins,
yes.
in Duluth. We talked about the Twins
There
again.
it is.
I hope you're happy.
Yes. So yeah, Chuck was. I don't know. I'd have to look up.
Yeah, he was a short
Chuck
guy,
was
too.
A short one. We got. I don't know who we replaced in 2014. We'd have to look at that.
I don't know.
But yeah, there's been a few of them. Doug DeCenzo, I think, was another short ball player.
Yeah.
And played for the Cubs.
I remember
so,
a pitcher with the Dodgers in the early 80s named Doug Rao. And Doug was about 5'9". And on the mound, he won 13, 14, 15 games every year for the Dodgers.
Crazy. And yeah, the stats were in 14 where he 130 hits, 40 stolen bases
Before the All-Star break.
Before the All-Star game. Before All-Star break, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, yeah, awesome player. And he should be at the top of your list if he's not just for second baseman, but for in your drafts.
Yeah,
which
your
are
franchise player.
Rapidly racing ahead towards that. So, as we approach the FFT, that's going to be later in the show. We actually got one of our other hot segments in the show, and that's This Day in Baseball History.
This day in baseball.
And we're going to be heading to that right here, sir, and it's going to be right
And
now.
these are always interesting.
Yes, sir. Okay, so we got This Day in Baseball is recording time. We're going to take a trip down memory lane all the way back from March 6th in baseball history. So we're going to rewind and turn back the clock, my dear doctor, to all the way back into 1922,
1922.
March 6th. So
And I don't remember that era.
two years later, you'll be born. In 1922, Babe Ruth becomes the highest paid player in history when he has a 3-year deal with the Yankees worth $52,000, more than 3 times as much as teammate Home Run Baker, the second best paid player in the major leagues. The Sultan of Swat will prove worthy of his contract, hitting 122 home runs during that span of the deal. earning MVP honors in the team's first World Championship season in 1923.
Babe Ruth, the greatest icon in sports history, and not just in America, in the world, and he's still remembered.
Where was Danny from last show complaining about that?
That's right. We got to talk about that in the future.
But I would say Babe earned it.
Babe earned every penny of it.
Far less than what today's players make. Staying in the 1920s, another year away from your birth, the Cardinals announced players will wear numbers on their uniforms. I guess for the first time in 1923. The digits will correspond to the player's place in the batting order. Can you imagine that?
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I would have thought it would correspond to their position on the field.
They could have done that too, but yeah, evidently they want to know, hey, this guy hits first, so he will wear 1. That is very strange. We're going to roll right away here and fast forward a little bit, still staying on March 6th. 1971, Joe Cronin, the AL president, gives in to A's owner Charlie Finley's request to allow 3 balls rather than 4 to constitute a base on balls during an exhibition game against the Brewers. The experiment, designed to add offense and speed up to the game, proves to be tedious for both teams when 19 walks are issued as well as 6 homers being drilled during the 13-9 spring training victory for Oakland. Thus ends the 3-ball experience.
Well, and I loved Charlie Finley's ideas. His orange baseball, I was playing during that period. He had the orange baseball, and you could see it better than the white one. But some of the other things like this, I mean, that's like a little league game. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
That's pretty great. Why don't we just start him with a ball and a strike each,
right? Yeah.
That's pretty funny, though. 1973, in a spring training game against the Pirates, Larry Heil becomes the first designated hitter in Major League history. Well, the contention that the new American League rule will add more offense to the game is proven when the Twins DH hits 2 homers and drives in 7 runs. Well, we mentioned the Twins twice.
That's unbelievable. Troy, that would be
doing that every show, at least 2 Twins references.
Yeah, well, it's not going to happen anymore.
We've
Troy,
never even heard from
You've heard
Troy
about the
since.
Twins for the rest of the season. That's it.
Well, Troy, we need to hear from you again, buddy. So you better let us know.
Yes.
1976, prior to the return of natural grass that will be in place for opening day, approximately 1,000 people show up at Comiskey Park to get a piece of the 18,000 square feet of artificial turf covering the infield. New White Sox owner Bill Veeck, sensing a lack of public interest during the work stoppage, decided to stage the promotion to spark interest in the upcoming season, reminding fans, when you go to the ballpark, you are entitled to the smell of freshly cut grass.
That's true. Now,
wholeheartedly.
Why would somebody want a piece of the old artificial turf? Well, what am I saying? That's
the
Chicago
Brady Bunch
people.
would take it. The Brady Bunch would line their entire yard with it. Aren't they from California?
They are, and they frequently had Dodgers as guests on their show.
But let me shot you down before you even tried to insult Chicago.
Let me go back to the artificial turf. Who wants that? Chicago fans, of course.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch.
I think the snow gets to your brains.
The Brady
there.
Bunch shouldn't have grass. They had artificial turf. They're from California. 1987, free agent Andre Dawson signs a blank contract to join the Cubs. The former player of the Expos will win the National League MVP, making him a bargain at $500,000, the amount Chicago decided to pay the All-Star outfielder. Funny story with that is he wasn't even allowed to choose his hat for the Hall of Fame. I believe he became the first and only, it's to this far, a Montreal Expo in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes, that is right.
And I think he wanted to, I don't want to misquote the Hawk, but I believe he wanted to be inducted with the Cubs hat.
That's what the Hawk told us, yes.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But, I mean, he did spend a great deal of his years with the Expos, and maybe one time we'll see them return. I don't know.
I hope.
Maybe. Finally, 2005, this is pretty cool. Making her debut with John Sterling on WCBS AM 880, the radio flagship of the Yankees. Susan Waldman becomes the first woman in big league history to be a full-time color commentator. The former radio talk host of WFAN, the first all-sports radio station in the country, was also the first female to broadcast on a nationally telecast baseball game, as well as the first to provide local TV, Yankees, Major League play-by-play. Look at that.
That's great, I think.
Good.
I know the Giants have had yeah, absolutely. Giants have had a woman as their PA announcer for years now.
You've been replaced by women at every juncture of your career, right?
Well, and I have nothing against that.
We may replace you with a woman so sweet.
I can see that
getting resumes from a Sue coming through the thing every time.
Is that right?
I don't know who that is, but she sounds like she's got a pretty impressive resume, so you better watch it.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling you're looking for Alyssa Milano to be your partner on this show.
If she clobbers you off the studio set, I'm not going to complain. put that out.
Well, when we take our show on the road to California, to Los Angeles, Alyssa will probably be there.
Maybe we can rent the Brady Bunch house that has artificial turf. Play some catch out in the front yard.
These are low blows you're throwing at me tonight, MC.
Go down the street, excuse me. So in all seriousness, we actually have a serious topic now. We're going to segue right into our hot topic of the week. This kind of continues, going back to our good listener, Dan. This has something strongly to do with salary, and this is going to go into the Garrett Cole situation. So,
Garrett Cole, the Pirates
tell us a
ace.
little bit about this, situation we're about to.
This situation here, well, you can read it, MC. You're more familiar with it than I am, but I do know how I stand on this.
Well, the problem is there's a rule in place, I believe, in the first 3 years of Major League's career that. There's a certain salary limit that the team, such in this case the Pittsburgh Pirates, can impose, so they don't have to pay a certain more, I believe, than $500. I don't know what the league minimum. I think I could pay the league minimum,
which is $534,000.
Yeah, and there's a certain increase that they can give them, but they don't have to do this. And what the problem is, Garrett Cole, he's coming off a 2015 season and included his first All-Star nomination, and he's disappointed by his contract he signed for 2016. And he didn't have a choice. That's what he said, and he really didn't, because he could refuse to play. But he's trying to earn his next deal. So he had signed for $541,000, the same amount he made last year, and that he went 19-8 with a 2.60 ERA, finished fourth in the National League Cy Young. His base salary for 2015 was $531,000, and he earned $10,000 for making All-Star team. Excuse me. So basically, he only, not counting that, which is I think what he's probably contentious over, is that they gave him a $10,000 raise, which is nothing because he already made the All-Star team. And his complaint is when you perform at a level that draws the praise of management, teammates, coaches, fans, you expect appropriate compensation. And this is what he told the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. And he says, I understand the business of the game, but it's hard to accept that a year of performance success does not warrant an increase in pay. Now, obviously, they're saying it did because they gave him $10,000 more.
Well, they did give him $10,000. He's not the only player in this situation in the major leagues, and nobody else is complaining. They know that they're going to get their big payday after their sixth season.
True. Did anybody perform to that level? Probably not. I would say there wouldn't be too many players that performed to this type of level.
Well, you know who did, though? And if they're that important to their organization, the Angels signed Mike Trout to a long-term deal after his second year. Dodgers signed Clayton Kershaw to a 10-year, $235 million deal.
The thing we don't know, though, is did they even offer Garrett Cole a long-term deal like that to secure him?
I don't know that they would, because he's had a couple of great seasons.
They don't like to do that, I believe.
Pirates are not an organization that has the money for that. The other thing is, they know he's going to leave after his free agent season. He's not going to stay in Pittsburgh, so they have a rental pitcher for 3 years.
Again, I mean, now we're doing commentary on it because we really don't know.
I do know. I'll guarantee you.
If you paid him the money, he's going to stay.
He's not going to stay no matter what. Who wants to stay in Pittsburgh? No knock to the Pirates or Pirates fans.
Pittsburgh
he's going to leave.
If you want to start lighting your torches right now, he just insulted
Ray Noriega, huge Pirates fan. Let us know what you think. But I'm telling you, he is not going to stay. Do I have a crystal ball? No. I have common sense.
Obviously, his agent, Scott Boras, we're not going to use words here. Scott Boras wants to get his client a lot of money. There's no question on that. I'm going to finish reading what the contention here is, and I'll give you my thoughts on there. So Cole told the newspaper the club refused to go over $541,000 after making an original offer of $538,000, saying that it was the most they could offer under the team salary system for players who are not eligible for arbitration. So they have this system in place. That's what he's saying, and this is backed up basically by the words of Neil Huntington. He said they even threatened a salary reduction to league minimum if I did not agree. That's a little. That's going to tell you don't want the guy back, because now you're starting to, you got to know you're lighting a fire there.
Yes.
Players with, and they're within their rights. I'm not saying they're not. Players with less than 3 years in the majors are obligated to accept the contract offered by the team. So the Pirates are saying, and this will back it up when we say this, they have a system in place. This is what we can afford, and this is what everybody has to understand when they play for the Pirates. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what they have. If you don't want to sign with the Pirates, now I think you got some young players who are going to know the Pirates are going to play this before you even sign if you're drafted by them. So basically, players with less than 3 years in majors are obligated to accept the contract offered by the team, which can lower the offer if the player refuses to sign the deal. So the major league minimum salary is $507,500, which
Okay.
is what they were going to do. They threatened that, he said. So Pirates GM Neil Huntington had said the Pirates made a mistake when they were computing Cole's offer. The Pirates didn't account for Cole's All-Star bonus, he said. He said, as a result, the Pirates based their 2016 salary offer based on his 2015 base salary without the 10,000 All-Star bonus. The Pirates then adjusted their offer based on the bonus, and Cole agreed to the deal. So,
Okay, he agreed to the deal, but I'm telling you again, he will be leaving. Now, I want to give you another name of a player who's under the same circumstances and got the same minimum deal from his team. Okay, you ready?
yeah.
Dallas Keuchel from Houston.
Yeah.
Did he complain? No, and he won the Cy Young Award last year. Do you think he could have complained?
What is he making this year?
He's making $530,000 this coming season.
Yeah, so
He's already signed.
He's already signed.
Yes.
And do you know if he's happy with that?
If he isn't happy, he hasn't complained.
Yeah.
He's the Cy Young Award winner on a very top contending team who may win a championship.
So without his actual comments, now privately, publicly, it's different. Should Garrett Cole have said something? Well, he's not happy, so he's
No, and Garrett Cole, as
you know.
we've seen, is very outspoken.
Yeah.
He's not a guy who keeps his temper on the field very often. You remember the incident with Carlos Gomez last season. And Garrett Cole is a fiery guy.
Yeah, he says the Huntington, go back to him, he says Cole broke our scale when it comes to making offers to pre-arbitration players. But he says the GM said he understands Cole's unhappiness. We can empathize with him. At the same time, there's a system in place that is negotiated by the union and by Major League Baseball. He told reporters Cole's $541,000 salary makes him the Pirates' highest paid pre-arbitration player, Huntington told reporters. Even so, Cole's agent, the ever-aforementioned Scott Boras, was outspoken about his client's salary. No surprise there.
No.
What kind of message does that send to players? Boras told the Tribune Review, the best deserve the best. You should reward the best. I can't believe that it is owner Bob Nutting approved system. It doesn't ring with the conversations Bob and I had when Garrett signed. Boras told the newspaper that he would expect to get Cole's salary in excess of $650,000 if he were pitching for other teams.
He wouldn't.
I would think Bob would want to reward a guy for special performance. So now he's going over Neil Huntington's head. And the 25-year-old Cole has been limited by inflammation around a right rib that he suffered during spring training and returned to throwing off a mound. This was the past Wednesday. And then he received an $8 million signing bonus after being drafted first overall by the Pirates.
Okay, let's go back to Danny D's original comment about salaries.
That's interesting stuff there.
He probably agrees with what the Pirates did, like I do. The guy got an $8 million bonus when he signed. Please.
And that's what you negotiate. So
Yes.
here's the thing. If they're going to give you an $8 million bonus, I think if you're him, you kind of probably got to factor that into your salary for the time. That was something I wasn't aware of until the end. However, on my end, I can see where he would... This is where I think you got to either do some... I would say cultivating. So do you want to make this player happy and keep him around? You're saying he's not going to stay anyways?
He's not going to stay.
Do they think that? Maybe they do. Maybe that
I'm sure they
revolves right into their thing. Well, I mean, then why are you drafting a guy? Because if you know he's a Scott Boras client, you know he's going to want the money, and if the Pirates can't play these players...
They drafted him
What's the
because he
point?
was the best pitcher available in college that year, and they made the right move. He's had good seasons. But this is the system that's
But you
in
don't want to
place.
pay him.
This is the system that's in place in Major League Baseball. A lot of other players, I mentioned Dallas Keuchel, there's other players that fall in the same category, and they're not complaining. They know either they're going to get paid their fifth year or they leave as free agents.
You got $8 million. I mean, people could say, hey, you know, be quiet, be happy, you got your signing bonus. You could have not even made the Major League squad. You would have been $8 million.
That's right, and that's what I would say.
But, you know, according to what he's done and what his performance, he's going to get paid if he can stay healthy, obviously. But I think you already got some tension there. You're already going to probably have... I'd be probably pretty safe to say he's not going to give a hometown discount to the
Absolutely not.
to the Pirates when he hits free agency. So yeah, I mean,
But
do
they
you want
know
to
he
keep
wouldn't
your player
anyway.
happy, or do you want to piss him off?
No,
going
they
into the
know
season?
he wouldn't stay anyway. He's going to do his
Well,
best
I mean,
to go get a big
you're
deal.
hypothetically guessing that he's.
I'm not
that's
guessing. I
going
can
to stay.
guarantee you.
But then it goes back to you. So okay, we want him for $6. So what are you going to do with Garrett Cole if you're Neil Huntington? Trade him before his
At
contract's
the
up?
trading deadline in that fifth year, away he
you're going
goes,
to
and
trade
we'll get
him.
something. Yeah, unless we're in a pennant race. Now, keep him for that. Maybe trade him anyway.
Well,
I'm
and
telling
this
you,
is
he
the
will not
reason why
sign.
the Pirates will stay where they are, because if you can't keep a player, it would be the thing. If Cole gets better and better, let's use it.
Yes.
And I'll go turn back the clock. Greg Maddux, okay?
Okay.
Greg Maddux, Cubs. they offered Greg Maddux a contract. They wanted him to sign. He wanted, just a little bit more. He had wanted the contract. They wouldn't budge from it. Wins the Cy Young, and now he wants even more. He didn't get the job done before, and then what he does, he leaves.
And went to the Braves and won 3 more Cy Young awards.
He won World Series rings.
Yeah, but Greg Maddux was a class act.
But
I don't
Greg
put
Maddux
Garrett Cole in that
was
category.
an elite pitcher, and that's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
Will Garrett Cole be an elite pitcher when he hits free agency? He may very well be. He's already an elite pitcher now. But that's the thing. Like, in that situation, you piss off the player. The Cubs wanted Greg Maddux back. I don't think they wanted Jose Gonzalez and whoever else they tried to fill the entire roster with, 6 or 7 guys they tried to sell to us fans. Oh, the quantity of 6 to 12 guys is will equal Greg Maddux' salary. No,
it doesn't work that way.
Greg Maddux made the other team players on the team better. Fact.
But it happened
question.
the same way.
So that's the thing that you run the risk of. Hey, now you got a player with a chip on his shoulder might pitch with an edge, yes, but he's going to break the bank on you guys when he wants to sign.
Okay, well, let me end by saying this. Garrett Cole is no Greg Maddux, and he never will be. And that's all I'm going to
As always, you're missing the point here.
No, the point is he's going to leave the Pirates, period. He's going to leave.
Now he's going to leave.
He would have left anyway.
Well, you're making a judgment call there.
No, I'm not. I'll guarantee you.
There's no guarantee. Now I think there's closer to guarantee.
3 years
which will
from
just
now,
make you say, oh, yeah, he's right. But now he's angry at the Pirates. Of course he would leave now.
He would have left anyway. 3 years
Then
from
we
now.
don't know that.
3 years from now, you look across the table at me in our studio here and tell me, yes, you were right.
Well, I know now. I'm telling you now he's probably not going to stay with him. I wouldn't stay with him. I'm him. And I have Scott Boras as my agent. I would be looking, hey, Cubs.
Yeah.
You want to pay me, Cubs?
Hey, Dodgers.
Cubs need a number 2 starter.
Hey, Dodgers. Hey, Yankees. Hey, Diamondbacks. Could be anybody.
If he pitches how he's been pitching, he's going to get paid.
Okay, and I agree with that, but he will leave. I will guarantee it.
I will agree now because obviously he's mad at the team.
Okay, so after all that, you come around to agree with me.
I'm not agreeing with anything you're saying. I have my own conclusions I made, which is logical.
You agreed with my conclusions, which might not have been logical.
You've already written Garrett Cole off from the Pirates, and you said you should just lowball him the rest of his time it's Pittsburgh if you're Neil.
That's what I would. I would.
And you would probably be fired when the owner says, "Why didn't you sign Garrett Cole?"
We could go on and on.
We could. Your favorite line, but just to wrap it up, what do you fans think? Whose side are you on?
Yeah, Danny D, let us hear from you on this.
I'm thinking, should he accept what the Pirates offer? He has no choice. That's a system in its place. But you walk a very dangerous line when you anger your players, and they could have just as easily gave him a little bit of a raise. Obviously, they're going off their budget. Mm-hmm. But if you want to keep Garrett Cole, you got to keep him happy.
He's not a franchise player.
Well, that's your opinion. He's definitely the ace of their staff.
Oh yeah, but that's not saying a lot.
Are you saying he couldn't beat Jake Arrieta, so you just don't let him go? Is that what you're saying? I don't know, folks. But at the Fast Pitch MLB, Twitter, Facebook.com/the Fast Pitch. Let us know. Whose side are you on here? Neil Huntington and the Pirates? Garrett Cole? The pitcher, along with his agent Scott Boras. I don't know if it was anybody who's technically on Scott Boras' side, but
so.
Player or club, who do you side with here? Who do you think is right? What moves would you make if you're the GM? We want to hear from you guys. Would you try to keep Garrett Cole happy in hopes to resign him, or are you like Dr. Eric? Hey, he's going to cost us way too much money anyways. Just let him go and piss him off.
Yes, and also let us know who do you agree with, MC Brown or Eric Lenneberg?
Yeah, well, now you're adding a personal nature to it. So as we head into our next segment, it's one of our fastest growing, funnest segments here. We debuted it last show, and we're going to get right into it, Doctor, and we're going to have, the cool thing is we're going to have some results.
Yes.
And the other cool thing is we're going to have some new questions. So here it is. We're going to right into it. Another fine edition of Fast Pitch
Feud.
Let's play the feud, my friend.
Millions of people have switched to Sprint this past year.
Well, I'll tell you what, we had some feedback on the feud, and I'm looking forward to more and more on this.
Yes, this is going to be fun stuff, and as we try to cue up our Fast Pitch Feud theme song, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty.
I would just say that the questions in this are really unique and interesting questions, so we want more answers.
Yes. So there it is. Let's play the Fast Pitch Feud. We had a little problem with the delay of that, so we're going to jump right into that.
Let's get into it.
So basically what we had last show, we had 3 questions. This is like the Fast Money round in Family Feud. And we gave you fine fans 3 questions. And with those questions, we pulled an undisclosed number of baseball fans. And what your job is when you're trying to answer this new trivia contest we have here on the Fast Pitch is you are trying to guess what the other baseball fans are going to ask. So we had the 3 questions, the first of which was, what is your favorite ballpark in the Major League? That was the first one. Our second question was, when you think St. Louis Cardinals, which ball player, past or present, immediately comes to mind? And our third question was, if you only had enough money to buy one concession at a Major League Baseball concession stand, which item would that be? So,
Pretty wide-ranging questions,
yes,
too.
and we had a few people guessing, and surprisingly enough, we didn't get one fan that actually answered them all correctly. But our winner, if we had a drum roll, it would be a drum roll. Our winner is our favorite outspoken Diamondback homer, Chuck Boyer.
Chuck Boyer wins again.
Chuck is the winner with 5 points out of a total of 10, and then he would have been in the drawing, but Chuck got the most points right. Surprise it, believe it or not. And
Chuck wins the St. Louis Cardinals coin and card. And you know what? I had to get Chuck's address the other day because it seems like we're going to have to roll a UPS truck up there for all his prizes.
Basically hold this contest right outside Chuck's house.
Yes.
So, as we will do always on the Fast Pitch Feud, we will give you the percentage point totals of the answers. And the fun thing about this is this will give you kind of an idea. Chuck knows who he answered. And just to remind you, anybody have looked on the page, Chuck's answer, what is the favorite ballpark, was Wrigley Field. That was the number 1 answer Chuck got. Number 1 answer was 3 points. 3 fans. We had Wrigley Field. We had 1 point totals for 4 or 5 other ballparks. One of them is no longer even a major league
the old
ballpark.
Yankee Stadium.
So yeah, we had old Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, AT&T Park, PNC Ballpark, and Turner Field were the other ones, which would have gotten you 1 point each. So Chuck, good job on that one. You got the number 1 answer. As the second question, when you think St. Louis Cardinals, which ball player, past or present, immediately comes to mind? I'm going to ask the doctor just on the spot right here. When you think Cardinals, who do you think immediately comes to mind?
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm from the era when those great players played, as you know.
I think on mine, I may have said Mark McGwire, or one of the other ones.
Mark McGwire, most of his career with the A's.
Yeah, one of the other ones, a number 1. Yes, but he did, power numbers with the St. Louis Cardinals.
The power numbers that don't matter.
A very, very popular.
Power numbers with an asterisk.
Yeah, well, still, he played for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yes, he did.
So number 1 answer would have been not what Chuck Boyer guessed. Chuck's guess was, I think it was Al Klein, right?
It's Stan the Man Musial,
Stan the Man,
yes.
Sorry, not Al Klein. So Chuck's was Stan the Man. You are incorrect, Chuck. No fan we pulled said Stan the Man. The number 1 answer was Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie Smith, not a surprise, really.
Number 2 was Albert Pujols.
Not a surprise either.
And third was the aforementioned Mark McGwire.
A surprise.
So I would have came in last if I was guessing on that one. And yours would have gotten 0 points as well. Concession, that's the last one we have. And that question was, as if you only had enough money to buy one item, what are you ordering at a concession stand on a Major League ballpark? Chuck answered beer. Beer is not the number 1 answer, but he did get 2 points for it. The number 1 answer was loaded hot dog.
Loaded hot dog.
Chicago dog, loaded dog, regular hot dog.
Dodger dog.
Yeah, all of them would apply. We don't know what's in a Dodger dog, folks. It's very scary. But number 4...
Best hot dogs in America.
Well, not over Chicago dog. Number 4 was hot dog. That was the number 1 answer. Number 2 was beer. And peanuts would have been the third choice.
What would your first choice be, MC?
Ooh, probably nachos.
Nachos.
Yeah.
Mine would be...
Or pretzel.
Mine
One of
would
the
be
two.
kettle corn,
Yeah,
actually.
kettle corn, wow. 1945 delicatessen and kettle corn. They still make those at the ballpark?
You're just something. I'm
So
waiting
Chuck,
to get...
Chuck, here's the thing now. When we, sometimes we've been accused of just making up things on the fly. That's not true, even though it seems that way. So Chuck, what Chuck wins is the prize that Dr. Eric said. Obviously, on last show, the commemorative coin of the St. Louis Cardinals. Chuck also wins the right, not this show, of course, because our question's already on the table. Chuck, in next show, Chuck will actually develop the question.
Yes,
So approval
yes.
is based on approval, pending approval from myself and the doctor. Chuck will provide one of the 3 questions on game 16 of the fast pitch.
Yeah,
So-
and Chuck is a knowledgeable baseball guy. I've known him for a long time, and he is almost as knowledgeable as me. That's kind of scary.
Wow, that is impressive. Would you would say he's got a associate's degree in baseball?
He has a physician's assistant degree in baseball.
So he would be the true nurse baseball that you accused of from Scott.
No, I would not call
you
him
wouldn't
that
even
at
call
all.
him a nurse?
No,
I mean,
I'd
would
call
be
him
an
a
insult to
physician's
nurse?
assistant.
Okay, so you'd assistant of baseball.
Yes.
Okay. So Chuck, you will win the honor to develop a fast pitch feud question, and we can't wait to hear what you have to say. Here is the unfortunate news for Chuck is, as we're going to do until we get a larger number of fans, I would say we were going to I think, as we were discussing this, I think we were going to, I don't want to say disqualify Chuck from next show, but here's the challenge. Let's call an audible here. Here's the challenge to all you fans. Do you want to see Chuck keep winning these in here?
Yes.
Or we're going to press heavily on you fans listening. So you fans listening, Chuck is just going to run away with these here, and we were going to say, hey, maybe Chuck shouldn't be allowed to play the next game. Well, I don't think we should probably.
No, and I love Chuck.
Yeah, and I think we should let him continue to play.
Yeah.
He's going to give us a question, obviously, which. It doesn't mean he's going to know the answers to the other 2 as
That's
well.
right. That's right.
So we're not going to disqualify him for anything, but this is a challenge, and we're going to lay into you fans right now and just let you know, hey, Chuck didn't get all the number 1 answers.
That's
but
right.
Still 5 is kind of a mediocre. I mean, not to insult Chuck, but Chuck was still halfway there.
5
to the
points
number
out
one
of 10
answers.
possible,
So you fans can beat Chuck, but we need you we need a few more players. We had a couple other people there, but they didn't come close either. But we need a few more players. So we want to continue to bring the fast pitch feud, or we're just going to be bringing you what does Chuck Boyer win this
Yes.
week's show. So
it'll become the Chuck Boyer segment.
yeah. So this is a challenge to you fans. You want to keep this fast pitch feud alive? We need some larger number of fans participating. So let's just put it at that. And this is a challenge to all you fans. We're reaching out to you guys. So we're going to give you the next 3 questions as quick as we can, and then we're going to do one more Who Am I and get to our final station break. So here are the new questions that you're trying to guess what other Major League Baseball fans would say.
That is correct.
An undisclosed number of baseball fans. Okay, number 1. This is the new questions now, folks, for next show. If you played in the major leagues, what position would you play? Think of your fellow baseball fans and guess what they would say now. In the regular number 2 slot, this is a roving number team, so this is our regular team question. When you think Dodgers, Los Angeles, or Brooklyn, which ball player, past or present, immediately comes to mind?
That's a good question.
That's for
I can't wait to
Dr.
hear some of that.
Dr. Dodger here. And number 3, finally, if your team is in Game 7 of the World Series, rounded to the nearest dollar, what is the most you'd pay for a ticket?
I can't wait to hear that one, too.
That is 3 questions for you folks. We're going to put them on our Fast Pitch page. Obviously, on our Twitter, we're actually going to broadcast each question to actually try to cultivate, more participation in this. So definitely, those are the 3 questions. Try to get in the minds. We're now going to spring training games. We're pulling fans.
Right.
We're pulling everybody we can. So get in the minds of your fans. And, hey, you want to beat Chuck Boyer, you're going to have to participate.
That's right.
Chuck will get our prize, which is, you have a special
Oh, for the
one,
next
you said,
one?
right? Yeah.
A special Major League Baseball with the Los Angeles Dodgers logo in blue.
Will Chuck even participate?
I don't know. I'm curious. He's liable to say something like, yeah, he can throw that with his dog out in the back.
pedal it, yeah, or he might want to pedal it for
Yes.
something. So yes, don't let Chuck get a hold of this ball and throw it to his rover and have this dog chew it to pieces. Especially you great Dodger fans, you want to win this, you better participate.
That's right. Even Casimir Girl, if you're out
Yes,
there.
I think Casimir Girl needs to play this.
Yes.
Especially her. Okay, so we're going to right into this station break, but you got a Who Am I of the week, right, sir?
I do.
So we're going to go to our second and final Who Am I and head to our last station break. Dr. Eric, take it away.
Okay, who am I? I was a star player at Arizona State University, and I was inducted into the ASU Hall of Fame in 2011. I was a Major League All-Star in 1998 and a Gold Glove winner in 2001 and 2002. And finally, my signing with the Detroit Tigers in 2004 was universally cited as a major reason the Tigers became a playoff contender.
Wow.
So who am I?
We'll find out after this. You are listening to The Best Station, the best music for the best audience. Find us at our home, www.thebeststation.net.
Friday night, live at 6:30, your Houston Astros are out to stop player manager Pete Rose and his Cincinnati Reds. Rose is just inches away from Ty Cobb's hitting record, and along with teammates Dave Parker and Cesar Cedeno, it's a slugfest you can't miss. So tune in when your Astros face the Cincinnati Reds live on Channel 20. Astros baseball, who says it's only a game? Friday night at 6:30.
And we are back, MC. And what do we have next?
You got the Who Am I reveal.
We do.
What do you have?
We do. So, who am I? And once again, let me give you the clues. Star player at Arizona State University, inducted to the school's Hall of Fame in 2011. An All-Star in 1998, Gold Glove winner in 2001 and 2, and largely responsible, according to several sources, for the Tigers becoming a playoff contender when he signed with them in 2004. Who am I? Fernando Vina.
May I also add a man that you interviewed?
Spoke with Fernando recently.
So as a special treat to all you fans, and we had Ed the Red Ortiz looking for that last show. Ed, we have a special delivery for you. We have a special, we're going to take it away to the doctor right now, his special interview with
Fernando Vina. What is your most memorable moment from your MLB career?
I think the day I was opening night when I first made my major league team in 1993 with the Seattle Mariners. Never forget it, in the Kingdome. Went out, my parents were there. They were able to see me get on the field and be a major leaguer for the first time, which was such a blessing.
Yeah. One more thing. Besides yourself, who was the most talented player you ever saw?
Beside myself, I think I'd have to say Edgar Renteria and Albert Pujols. Two guys that are just phenomenal baseball players, and the way they went about their business made them even better because they're class act on the field and off the field.
All right. Okay, that was great talking with Fernando Vina. Fernando, a fellow Sun Devil like myself. We talked about our days at ASU. It's not on tape, but great view. What I liked was that Fernando's favorite moment in the major leagues was the fact that his parents got to be there when he played his first major league game.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You got another bonus one, or final one from your Brewers fantasy camp experience. Tell us about who you're going to interview here. Briefly, we're going to have some comments now.
Right, Mike Felder.
Mike
Tiny Felder.
Yes.
Who had a nice major league career, and he's well known in some parts, but a lot of you fans may not remember Mike, and I had a chance to speak with him also. Mike, when you were playing, besides yourself, who was the most talented player on the field?
Well, I think the most talented player I probably played with or played against was Ken Griffey Jr.
And also, what was your most memorable moment in your MLB career?
Well, let's see. My most memorable moment, since I didn't play on any playoff teams, definitely one of them when I first got called up the first night that I played. Ended up pinch hitting against the Yankees in the 9th inning. And my first major league hit, my first major league at bat. Ended up scoring a winning run that snapped the Yankees' 11-game winning streak and left Billy Martin on the field kicking dirt on the umpire. and probably my other one is winning the Willie Mack Award in San Francisco. They have an award that's given Hall of Famer Willie McCovey. And I was shocked and surprised when they told me I had won the award.
Well, that's great. All right, that was Mike Felder. And MC, what I really liked was that story about his first major league game, his first major league hit. He ended up scoring the winning run that ended the Yankees' 11-game winning streak, and Billy Martin was out there kicking dirt on the umpires.
That was a great story. I almost thought you were depressing him for a bit because you had, he had opened that with, since I haven't played on any playoff teams,
yes.
So it's almost like you were dragging him down. But yeah, that was a pretty funny story you told there. And it's funny how we segued back into we were talking about smaller ball players earlier on the show.
Yeah, he was named Tiny
Felder. Yeah, it's nice how we always tie it back in.
Yes, we do.
So great interviews specifically for Ed the Red. We want to thank you for listening, and we always try to bring you the greatest interviews we can. And hopefully we got a good one lined up. We'll tease it
more to
at
come.
the end of the show. So
yes. As far as interviews, more to come. Like I said, I'm making the rounds for the MLB Network right now, hitting every stadium and getting a few good players.
and we're going to bring some exclusively, of course, here on the Fast Pitch for you also. Stay tuned, future shows, and we will bring you those great interviews. And as we enter the final stretch of our show here, you ready for a nice, hot, warm cup of FFT, my friend?
Yes, I am.
And that leads from our previous Who Am I from the great Jose Altuve. We're going to be talking about fantasy second baseman. Yes, and before we do that too, we were discussing in a break from our last station break. We're going to have a little extra contest here before we get into FFT. We so want some more people in this contest for Fast Pitch Feud. If we can get 5, and we only had a few last time, the one with Chuck won. If we can get 5 listeners to enter the Fast Pitch Feud, minimum of 5 now, you will all be put into a bowl or hat. We're going to draw it anonymously.
We'll have a lottery.
Decide, and we're going to put in a lottery. That's exactly what we're looking for. We will draw a name out. You will win what, Dr. Eric?
2 tickets to the Milwaukee Brewers Chicago White Sox game on March 16th at Maryvale Stadium.
March 16th, which is a week from, I think, by the show airs, it should be before Wednesday, so that'll be a little bit over a week to prepare for that.
Right.
You got to ask for time off. So we got to get 5 listeners to enter Fast Pitch Feud. At least 5. If it's more, that's great. You get 5. So if you're listening, you enter the feud. Your name will be in this drawing, and we will pull you out. And whoever wins this one, obviously Chuck's going to be one of them.
That's right.
Somebody's going to win some tickets, and if you want to play the feud, you're going to get a little bonus this time.
Yeah,
so.
and one other bonus, if you do win, I'll reveal that MC and I will be there at that game doing part of our show in that Brewers White Sox game. So you can meet with us.
You may actually be on the Fast Pitch.
That's
if you can
right.
Flag us down and let us know where you're going to be. We're going to be pulling some fans. We're going to be interactive, and it's going to be a fun time. So
I will find out. I'll get those tickets from Craig Best. Actually, is contributing this.
Yes,
our producer.
Very special thank you, definitely, to Craig Best, and you all should let him know too. Craig's actually footing this one, so definitely. We want 5, though. We need 5 people playing Fast Pitch Feud, and we're going to put you all in a drawing, so definitely.
Right, and I'll find out where the seats are, and I'll tell you what, me and MC will go down there and introduce ourselves and have you on part of the show.
I think that's fair enough,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yes.
So, yes, that's our contest, too, a little extra bonus to Fast Pitch Feud. So 5 people on Fast Pitch Feud, you enter it, you're in this drawing, so definitely. We're going to go into our final segment, FFT, second baseman.
Second baseman, and there are some good ones.
I think it's a clear cut, probably between you and me, that Jose Altuve tops that list.
No question.
I drafted him last year, early in the second round. And,
yeah, you stole him. I tried to get him. I ended up with D. Gordon.
Yeah, D. Gordon.
Which is not a bad one.
Number 2. Yeah, D is also equally... a lot of people thought he'd go into that slump when he was traded to Miami, but D actually had a very stellar year. Helped you win
the batting title.
Helped you win your championship.
Yeah, won the National League batting title.
Yes, he did.
Last day of the season, he got 2 hits to pass Bryce Harper for the batting title.
D very consistent. A lot of people were unsure of how he would do since leaving the Dodgers, your hometown Dodgers. But Jose Altuve, D. Gordon topped the list. We got Robinson Cano of the Seattle Mariners, who had a little bit struggles early on, but he's still up there in the high draft boards. Brian Dozier, who actually had a pretty powerful year. With
how about Jason Kipnis?
Twins.
The Twins again. How about Jason Kipnis of the Indians?
Kipnis got to be up there.
I saw him play today, and he got 3 hits.
Nice bounce back here he had last year.
He sure
2 years
did.
ago, we both had him on the team. You dumped him off on me, and not a very good player. Not 2 years ago, but last year he bounced back. Roughneck Odor, he's just right up there. He had a pretty good year at the Rangers. I think this is one of my comeback of the year candidates. Anthony Rendon had injury filled last year, and I think his potential is still there. That was a sophomore jinx, unfortunately.
Now I'm going to throw a name out there that could be a sleeper, but I think it's potential. And Starlin Castro will be playing second for the Yankees this year.
Very true. He's not as high on my board. We got Colton Wong. Matt Carpenter, who bounced back, both of them under St. Louis Cardinals.
Don't forget Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, Howie Kendrick, definitely. He's not as high on this list. Matt Carpenter, I may add, he's also at third base eligible still.
That's right, so that's a lot of benefit to that. He can play both positions. He's eligible for both.
As we always say, Ben Zobrist as well, the Chicago Cubs second baseman. He's going to be man of that. He's also outfield eligible.
Yes,
so.
I had Ben Zobrist last year.
Ben Zobrist, very valuable. DJ LeMahieu actually was a very good, solid player for the Colorado Rockies. He's up there. Addison Russell, also shortstop. He's going to play, which will give you an assist if you have a fielding league. He's also eligible for second base as well. So
right, I might say one thing. If you have a league where broken up double plays are counted. Chase Utley is on the list as second baseman too.
Chase Utley is not even in the stratosphere of some of these players we're at. Dustin Pedroia is up there. Neil Walker, who's now on the New York Mets. So I think that's kind of an underrated signing. It was real early, but the Mets, that's a pretty big bat. So
yes, it is.
Outside of Cespedes, I think Neil Walker is definitely going to be a big contributor.
Right.
He's going to have to if the Mets want to go somewhere.
Right. And don't forget Ian Kinsler.
Yes, Ian Kinsler, big bat. Definitely can't forget him. He was the one who's on the Tigers
right.
being traded from the Texas Rangers.
Traded for Prince Fielder.
Big year for him. Daniel Murphy is now in Washington Nationals. The rumor is he's going to be playing second base, but he's also got third base and first base eligibility,
right.
So he's going to be pretty valuable. You had mentioned Castro, who's second base, as shortstop still because he played that. We got, just round out some of the lists, we've still got Brandon Phillips, who's on there, Logan Forsythe of the Tampa Bay Rays, Jonathan Shoup of Baltimore, Joe Panik had a great...
I was going to say Joe Panik's another possible sleeper.
Yeah, definitely sleeper
Giant
candidate.
second baseman.
Josh Harrison is always a great utility player.
Right.
Had a little bit off here, but 2 years ago he was a stud. Some bounce-back candidates, Devin Travis, sleeper, Javier Baez, where he's playing, obviously.
I was going to ask you about that because I was at... Mesa the other day, and the Cubs had him playing center field.
Yeah, he could possibly be playing anyone of his left field. He could be in. So
Schwarber was out in left when I was there. Schwarber, by the way, hit about a 500-foot homer.
Yeah, Schwarber. The rumor is the platoon with him and Jorge Soler. So
well, he'll do some catching too.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be tough to put him in the catcher. They got, I think, Montero and Ross.
Yeah, Montero's days are numbered.
He'll definitely be DHing.
Player. Yes, in the American League.
In the American League, interleague plays. Just rounded off, Brett Lawrie is now the everyday second baseman of the White Sox. And pretty much after that, Brock Holt is another super utility guy. He might be a low on those sleepers.
Holt's a solid sleeper, and possibly Scooter Gennett from the Brewers.
Yes, I was just going to say Scooter. So a lot of great guys. So definitely keep in mind that you got some studs at the top, and then you might have high risk, but high reward as well on some of these other players that may actually bounce back.
Do not make the mistake I made 2 years ago. I had Robinson Cano and no other second baseman.
Ooh, yes.
And then he got hurt for a couple of weeks. I had nobody.
Yeah, you got to have a good utility. A lot of those guys with double eligibility might be good for you to have them plugged in one of those other spots.
That's right.
So, just as a tease for next week's show, we'll be covering shortstops to round out the infield. So we'll be excited to give you
good
that
ones
as well.
too. Good ones.
And we're running out of time, unfortunately. But you're going to give us a little tease for next show. Our show, Game 15. Who will be our special guest?
We are going to have a very special guest, Tim Haggerty, who is the San Diego Padres AAA play-by-play announcer and broadcaster. Tim, I was fortunate enough when he first got into professional baseball, I was lucky enough to share the booth with him, and I say lucky because all the years I've been in this, he is the best play-by-play announcer I've ever worked with. Great guy. He won the Edward R. Murrow Award for broadcasting when he was in college. He wrote a book that we'll be talking about. So Tim will be with us. A great guy, MC. I don't know if you ever met him, but I spent a lot of time with him.
Through you and Tim's generosity, was hooked up with some Seattle Mariners tickets.
That's right.
When I was up there many, many, many years ago, and I always thank Tim for that. So I can't wait.
Tim will be with us, and we look forward to having him.
And it's going to be a good time for sure. So we want to thank you. We got to wrap this show up. We ran a little bit long, but hopefully enough to keep your attention. Send those Fast Pitch Feud answers in. We want to hear from you so you can get this. We'll get our raffle going and compete with Chuck. Otherwise, Chuck's going to run away with it again. So
it's going to become the Chuck Boyer.
It's going to be the Chuck Boyer free giveaway award. So we're going to let you guys all go today. So we want to thank again you all for listening. We can be reached as always at the Fast Pitch MLB, Facebook.com/the Fast Pitch. As always, archived all of our shows on thebeststation.net under the tutelage of our good friend Craig Best.
And don't forget, you can message me on Facebook. My messages are open to the public. And send them in. I got 15 last week, so keep them coming.
Verbally spank him if you have to. There is nothing that is off limits to any of us.
That's right.
Publicly, privately, whatever you want to do. So please give us that feedback. We're loving it. And we're out of time, Doctor. So we'll wrap this up for the Fast Pitch Game 14. I am MC Brown.
I am Eric Lenneberg.
And we want to thank you all. And we will see you next time for Game 15. Have a great, great rest of this spring training week, and we will see you soon.
And you folks have a pleasant week wherever you may be. Thank you for listening.
This has been a presentation of the Best Station. The best music for the best audience. thebeststation.net.